Almost 90,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled the Southeast Asian country of Myanmar. We look into that story plus plenty more after the break. Well, actually, let's go straight on to this story because the reaction, they were fearing violent oppression by authorities. Over 1 million Muslims live in the mainly Buddhist country. Myanmar's de facto leader was once hailed a hero, but she's now facing mounting criticism. Nadira Tudor reports.
What attributes do you think of when you envisage the ideal leader? Maybe a symbol of groundbreaking political revolution. Obviously, a person who holds the interests of the people. Or do you visualize an individual hailed by the media as a hero? She was an inspiration during the country's revolution in the 80s and even won the Nobel Peace Prize as well as a US Congressional Golden Medal. The leader of the Southeast Asian state of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi.
As a child, she witnessed history. When her country demanded freedom, she became its greatest hope.
Doesn't this sound like democratic perfection? But sadly, reality is far from perfect. While the leader revels in glory, the country is home to what the UN calls the most persecuted minority in the world, the Rohingya, a Muslim community of more than 1 million people. The Myanmar government doesn't recognize them as citizens of the country, effectively making them illegal immigrants. Last year, a series of brutal attacks were launched against the community after it clashed with police as the minority desperately tried to draw the authorities' attention to their horrific plight. Since then, more than 1,000 civilians have been killed and more than 20,000 internally displaced. Government forces have also been accused of wide-scale human rights violations, arson, rape and murder.
The military destroyed everything. After killing some Rohingya, the military burned their houses and shops. Now there's a danger to our survival. That's why we fled.
I can still hear their screams in my heart and my ears. We are really scared. We don't feel safe now. We're very scared as we heard the sounds from here and there. We're scared even when we eat. My heart is beating so fast.
After my husband was killed, I had no option but to run for my children's lives. We spent 2 nights in the hills and sneaked past the border. My children haven't had any food yet and they keep crying. We only got here because people from the camp gave us the bus fare.
Refugees coming across the border, they're coming across the border with bullet wounds, with shrapnel wounds. Quite clearly this is a scorched earth offensive by the Burmese military. The government has to stop this offensive. It has to basically allow humanitarian assistance and also the journalists into this area. We have to actually see what's happened because quite clearly, human rights violations have taken place.
But the leader is not only making no attempt to stop the violence against the persecuted minority, she has made the situation even worse by posting hateful content online. One comment declares that the Rohingya makeshift army is a terrorist organization. Whilst the oppressed Muslim minority fights to survive, critics warn the West's old favourite, Aung San Suu Kyi, is doing everything but trying to resolve this deepening crisis.
Nadira Tudor there. Well, we spoke with the president of the Burmese Rohingya organisation in the UK. He believes the international community needs to act immediately.
Humanitarian crisis is growing and there is no food, no shelter, no medicine. You know what's happening right now against Rohingya people is genocide, is a direct killings involved where Burmese military is continuous in 10 days right now. To protect the lives of Rohingya, it lies on international community. We need international community effective action to stop this mass pressure to Burmese military and NLD leader Aung San Suu Kyi.
Moving on, with the World Cup on the horizon for Russia, the focus